This is Wiseguy Confidential, coming to you from Los Angeles, California. This edition of Wiseguy Confidential is dedicated to the hoi polloi, aka the masses, the worker, the 99%, those of us who pay our fair share in taxes and keep this country running and moving forward every day, through good times and bad times. And with that in mind, today's episode is addressing the recent the news that came out regarding the president, whose true name, his family name is Trump. In case you all didn't know that, that's a little fun fact. Turns out that, as we all suspected, or at least those of us who follow along and see and know a grifter, a cheat, and a scam artist when we see one, that for the last 15 of 20 years, Mr. Trump, aka Donnie, has not paid any federal income taxes, any whatsoever federal income taxes. So that means that student working in a fast food place, getting paid minimum wage, is literally and factually paying more federal taxes than a man who claims to be a multi-billionaire, a man who has marketed himself as being the most brilliant business person in history. A man who literally points to his head and says, I have a great one of these. So according to the tax records that have been secured by the New York Times, there have been no taxes paid, and the excuse that has been used is that he has lost so many millions, amounting to a total of probably close to $1 billion in 15 of the last 20 years. And in 2017, he paid a grand total of $750. Almost everybody you know, every working stiff that you know, pays more dollar for dollar proportionately than the person occupying the White House. That is completely unacceptable. Let me repeat. A low-income student working at somewhere like McDonald's is paying dollar for dollar more than the person who is the quote-unquote president of the United States of America. That matters. That matters a lot, because either there's only two options that could be true in this situation. Either one, he committed tax fraud for the last 20 years, which is a federal offense and punishable by imprisonment. Many people, including people like Al Capone and Wesley Snipes, have been put in prison for such tax evasion, tax fraud. Or if he's going to come out and say later that those numbers were incorrect, then he either committed tax fraud or he's the stupidest business person in the history of the United States, for sure. One is one or the other. Either he cheated on his taxes and he wants us to believe that he truly is a multi-billionaire, or he didn't cheat, in which case he's been lying all this time, which we already knew he's been lying, but this is now about the taxes, and then he's just a terrible business person. So either he cheated knowingly and lied about his wealth and his income, or he didn't. Among those deductions were almost $1 million paid to talk to his own daughter, Ivanka. Let me repeat that. A multi-billionaire whose children were trust fund babies given millions of dollars, inherited millions of dollars, as did the president, need to be paid almost $1 million by their father to have a discussion and call it a consultation fee. Now we know that Trump received today's equivalent of $400 million from his father to start his business. Was given the equivalent of today's money, $400 million. And with that, he managed to bankrupt, I believe it's seven businesses, including casinos. I don't know who can ruin a casino business where you're getting ripped, the public's getting ripped off, and it's the games are all set up to benefit the casino. But he found a way to bankrupt a casino, and he proceeded now to bankrupt the United States. Effectively, the United States is bankrupt. The federal government, through the Federal Reserve, keeps printing money, but effectively, we're a bankrupt country. Well, you should have expected that outcome when you put a talk show host in charge of the most powerful country in the world. Now, why is it important that person doesn't want to contribute to a tax base? Okay, let me break that down real quick. And today's episode is going to try to make it as concise and short as possible, but it needs to be addressed. That means less money for the military, less money for our schools, less money for our parks and rec, less money for our Veterans Administration, our hospitals. That means across the board, through our first responders, our police, our firefighters, all of our first responders, all the things that make up the highway, all our infrastructure of our country, that a person doesn't want to contribute to that. Now, we know that when it was time to serve during the Vietnam era, that Trump refused to serve and made up lies in order to get out of serving. So now we fast forward to the last 20 years, and he refuses to contribute his fair share of federal income taxes. There's one clear reason for that. That man does not care for this country. He does not love this country. And if you think that he loves this country, you're fooling yourself. You are clearly fooling yourself, because he doesn't want to contribute. Why? He doesn't live amongst the rest of us. He's not with the hoi polloi. He's not with the masses. He's not out there in the same situations that the rest of us are. His kids are private school educated. He was private school educated. There's no love or affection for this country. And why do we know that's true? Because he's an elitist, and he only cares for other elitists. That's why the first thing he did when he went into office was reduce the tax contribution of the wealthiest 1% in our country. The first thing he did was worry about that. He's had 4 years to supposedly fix our healthcare system, and he did not do that. And now he's saying he's going to release a plan, but only until after the election. And he's lying and saying that his taxes are still under audit, when everyone knows that an audit doesn't take 4 years. It's complete garbage. It's all bullshit with this man. I should say man, because any honorable man would be contributing to their country. So when he's cheating the rest of us, because we're all contributing. I'll put it in simple terms. We all go out to a pizza place, and we're all going to pitch in for a pizza, and he doesn't want to kick in, but he's getting the lion's share of the pizza. If that makes sense to you, it doesn't make sense to most reasonable, logical people. And allow me to apologize. Our AC is still on the fritz over here. Probably gonna need to get a Patreon going pretty soon and get some help and get the studio into tip-top shape for you guys. He doesn't love this country because this country is majority working class by far. This country is diverse ethnically, all colors, all religions, some folks who don't believe in God at all. This country is rowdy and loud. People love their sports. People love their hobbies. This country's gay, LGBTQ. We have a diverse population in this country. And if you have seen and pay attention to the kind of people that Donnie associates with, they're not the common people. They're not the 99%. So he clearly doesn't love this country. And if you want to think that he does, the evidence is otherwise. Very clear that he doesn't love this country. So when you don't contribute because you're too busy spending money on a gold toilet that he had in his home, in his mansion, or a $10,000 portrait of himself painted, a man who has stolen money from veterans charities, a man whose son has stolen money from children's charities. The evidence is all there, you guys. It's very clear that we're talking about somebody who really doesn't care about anybody but himself. Someone like that does not care about the country as a whole, that needs to be paid for and supported through our tax dollars, like it or not. Nobody wants to pay taxes. That's unfortunate, but it's a reality and a necessity to keep our country moving forward. Someone like that is worse than the common street thug. He is like a thug on steroids. Common person who steals money or shoplifts in order to pay for maybe a drug habit or just to survive. Donnie isn't stealing and defrauding the federal government in order to survive. He's cheating and stealing from the federal government, the rest of us that are paying for his gluttony, for his selfishness, and for all those people, like the owner of Amazon. All those people who don't want to pay federal taxes, they're all coming up on the rest of our hard work. And that is just completely unacceptable. It's unpatriotic, it's unacceptable, and we can't have people like that running our country. People who are scamming, people who are manipulating. A person who has turned our presidency into his own Ponzi scheme. As a grifter and a scam artist. And wake up to that reality if you support that clown. It comes down to everyone paying their fair share. And the same thing holds true for Social Security, by the way. There's a cap on Social Security. The wealthiest people don't pay above the cap. I think it's $200,000. So dollar for dollar, here we go again. The common person, the working person is paying considerably more than the 1%, than the mega wealthy. So as I wrap this edition up, you guys, I want to share something with you real quick. This is what it's all about. I'm going to show you the back of my t-shirt, because I want to do I don't know if you can see it right there. That's the American original, patriotic country, patriotic brand, our small family-owned business, King Cat Hollywood. Now I'm proudly rocking, sorry, I'm not looking at the camera, proudly rocking the red, white, and blue in respect and appreciation to all the hardworking people out there, and to our men and women in uniform, our first responders. And I want to just, again, dedicate this to all the rest of us and all of you out there who work hard every day and contribute to this great country of ours. Again, as I've said many times, I'm not always going to tell you what you want to hear, but I'm always going to tell you the way it is. This is Wiseguy Confidential signing out from Los Angeles, California. Take care, everyone. God bless. Avoid the COVID.